Hi YouTubers, this is Indian River Joel making my first YouTube video. I'm here to talk about the Stradic FI, the Stradic CI4, and the Sustain FE. They're three reels that Shimano carries that a lot of people are asking me what's the difference between these reels. And I didn't really know myself until I've purchased and used all three of them. On paper, you can see some differences, but you don't know how practical they are. So I'm here to help you out with that. The first one that I want to show you is the Stradic FI. This is the basic Stradic. This runs $159.99. It's fairly affordable. And if you remember the old Stradics, with the wood handle, well, this guy is a little more, but he's a lot better. He's got a better drag system. He's got a smoother retrieve, and the drag system on the 4000 can handle 20 pounds of pressure, which is crazy. 5 years ago, that you had to have a monster mega reel to have 20 pounds of drag. Smoothness of the drag is pretty smooth too. The next one is the CI4. This guy was created to be light and fairly affordable. Before, if you wanted a light reel, you had to go with a magnesium one. And as you probably already know, magnesium reels are very expensive. Like a Stella, which Stella's magnesium. This guy's carbon fiber is frame versus aluminum. So he's lighter. He has a foam handle versus the traditional paddle handle, which I've actually ordered the paddle handle for the Stradic, and it fits here on the CI4 because I don't like the foam handle, but you can change that out. It's $22 from Shimano. So that's the CI4, and this is the Sustain. This one, the CI4, by the way, retails for $209.99. This guy retails for $249.99. This is the next step up over the Stradic and the step down from the Stella. So I want to talk to you about the difference between them. First thing I want to talk to you about is retrieve. The Stradic CI4 has, for its price range, an ultra smooth retrieve. You're not going to get a better retrieve for the price. However, the CI4 has a little smoother retrieve, not much more than the regular Stradic FI, but it's a little bit smoother. And then even a little smoother from that, you step up to the Stradic, or the Sustain FE, I'm sorry. Now, if it was just based on retrieve smoothness, I would say that the Stradic FI wins, because there's not that much of a difference between the Stradic FI and the Sustain FE to warrant the $90, because they're all pretty smooth. Next thing I want to talk about is the drag system. Now, as far as drag strength, all three reels have the same rating for strength. These two reels handle pretty much identical with their drag, the two Stradics. What's different about the Sustain is the bearing. There's a bearing. Let me show you. Take off a spool here. Bear with me. That takes forever. Alright. Let me get it so you can see it. You see the bearing right there? That's the bearing. Now what that does, even though the drag strength's the same and they both have an ultra smooth drag, it creates a drag even smoother, because as the spool is spinning and your fish is taking out drag, the bearing makes that smoother. The more bearings, the better. So you have a bearing there, it's smoother. Now, you guys are going to laugh at me, but I took this thing out to the surf and threw out, it was a calm day, and I threw out a shrimp out there. And I hooked into what I thought was a big snook at first. Fought for about an hour, hour and a half. We had a huge crowd on the beach, and I pulled the fish up to the surf, and it was about a 50-pound ray. Its wingspan was bigger than, or just as big as mine, about. And that was on 10-pound test in this little Sustain FE on a medium light rod. So you can imagine how smooth of a drag it has. You're not going to have to worry about breaking off. I've caught snook and other fish, big redfish on ultralight line. Your drag's smooth enough, you'll be good to go. But really, all three of them have a smooth drag. In this category, I give the Sustain the prize because it's got that bearing, and to me, that's worth it. The next thing I want to talk about is castability. These guys, they cast pretty much the same. The two Stradics. They are both Stradics. Now the difference between the Stradic and the Sustain, which I'm going to show you if I can here. Do you see that spool? You see the black part on that spool? That is titanium. That's a titanium lipping. And then you can see here there's no titanium on the Stradic. That titanium lipping helps you a little bit with castability. It helps you with line management. I noticed less line tangles because of the titanium. It does make somewhat. I'd say it makes 10% difference. But if you're casting on the flats, then that's a big deal. If you're seeing a redfish tail and you want to get right to them. All right, now that we talked a little about the reels, I want to compare them. Again, I want to give my final opinion on what I think. So people ask me, Joel, I got $100 to spend on a reel. What should I get? And I tell them, don't buy anything. Save up another $50-$60 and get a Stradic FI. I would not get the Penn Battle or a Penn Slammer or anything. Once you fish a Shimano reel, or I wouldn't even get the Spheros. The Spheros runs $129.99, but there's such a big difference in the Stradic features to the Spheros. It's a rip-off to get a Spheros. I would save that money and get a Stradic FI. That's the reel that I take all my clientele. They all use the Stradics. I want them to use a really good reel. I don't cheat them or anything. And a Stradic pairs up nicely with a Claris, Shimano Claris at $79.99. That makes a beautiful combo. So that would be my recommendation. Now, if you tell me, Joel, I want a reel with a smoother drag and better castability and a little bit smoother retrieve, I would recommend you the Sustain FE 3000. You're gonna get these extra features that only the Stella has, and the Sustain Stella have, and so a reel you're going to fish with for a long time. Now you're telling me, well, I really care about weight, but I can't afford a Stella. But I don't, I hate holding heavy reels all day, and I want to be doing a lot of weighting. This is what I like to take weighting with me, which is primarily it's basically all the fishing I do is a CI4. There's a big weight difference on this guy. He's 7 ounces versus like 11. That's the weight difference between the aluminum and the carbon fiber. So that's the main differences between these reels. There's going to be some other differences, and if you'd like, I'd like you guys to discuss the differences on the comments, and let me know what kind of fish you're catching on these things. I want to hear your fish stories. This is Indian River Joel. Thanks again for watching my video. Check out my website at www.wadefishingflorida.com. Sign up for my weekly Indian River Lagoon fishing report. And check out some of my other, I have a fish identification section and I also offer guides if you're visiting out of state, and if you're a Brevard County resident, I am also offering classes, so you can get that extra edge. Thanks again for watching my video, and I am signing out.